Hi everyone. Hi, I think I'm live. So welcome to Monday 4:30 Living Room Yoga. If you're joining and you have access on your device, say hello in the chat box here so that I can know who's here practicing with me, getting ready to practice. And we'll wait maybe one more minute because I know some people will probably just be jumping on, tuning in. So I hope everyone's doing well out there. And curious to know who's here. I see that there are some people here. If you can say hi in the chat. Hi, Caroline and Caroline. The two Carolines are here. That's great. So great. I see that there are more. I'm not sure who. But maybe we'll just get started and people will join in. Hi, Megan. Good. Megan is here. Wonderful. I'm going to scoot back to my mat so we can get started. I've got a new mat today. It's new to me. It's not a new mat. So welcome, everybody. Happy to see some of you here live in person with me on a Monday. It's really important that we keep moving our bodies. It's really important that we continue to have a movement practice, especially when we are feeling so cooped up and maybe feeling like we don't have enough space to have a movement practice or to really dance or move fully. Yeah, and how lucky we are that we can come to our mat, or if you don't have a mat, a small space. We're lucky that we can at least do that. So today, my focus is the spine. I'm thinking about the spine this week, and maybe that's because I'm feeling cooped up and feeling like I really want to move and move fully, and it's not happening the way I want it to. But if we can tune in to the spine and to our head-tail connectivity, we can really find a sense of support, outer and inner, physical and energetic support through the spine. The spine supports us, right? My spine holds me up and it supports everything that I do. In yoga, there is a term, inner stamba, and stamba is like a pillar. And I think about that a lot with my spine. My spine is my inner stamba, that inner pillar of strength that supports me and holds me up and supports all that I do. If we don't move our spines fully as they were meant to move, we can possibly immobilize ourselves. Maybe we immobilize ourselves physically, maybe we immobilize ourselves energetically or emotionally, but it can and does happen. So it's crucial that to maintain a full sense of livelihood with our physical bodies, and as well as maintaining a greater sense of self just as a person, that we move our spines. So today we're going to move our spine. And I want to start, I'm happy to have my dancers here because I want to start with a quote from the book Making Connections, which is Peggy Hackney's book on the Bartinia fundamentals. And she writes about the spine. She says, I become differentiated. I am an individual with my own spine. I ground myself in my own sphere through yielding and pushing. I reach and pull, giving attention to my outer environment. I follow my curiosity and my imagination, enjoying my supportive, flexible, playful, sensuous spine. All things seem possible. I love that last line. All things seem possible. While I enjoy my full, fluid, playful, flexible spine. So let's start. And let's start on our backs today. Lying down on your back, just take a moment here, sort of pre-shavasana. Laying on your back and really feel the fullness of the back body connect to the earth. Arms can be either on your torso or at your side, whatever feels best for you. And take a moment here just to tune into your breath. Tune into your spine, the top of your head and the bottom of your tailbone. Really feel the whole length of the spine from one end to another. And now bring your arms up above your head, clasping a hold of your elbows. Just take a moment here. Notice that by holding the elbows, we've already started to lengthen through the sides of the body. So we'll take a nice crescent moon stretch, a little lateral flexion here. So I'm going to go to my right first. So I'm sending the top of my head over to the right, keeping the low body nice and grounded. So we're feeling a big stretch through the left side of the body. And we're also sensing lateral flexion in the spine. Keep the back of the body connected to the earth. And come back to center. Take an inhale here to lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, flex your spine to the left. So you'll take the top of your head over to the left. Come back to center. Release the arms. Hug your right knee into your chest, nice and close. And then let that right knee fall across the body for a nice gentle spinal twist. You maybe have to readjust your pelvis a little bit. And that's okay if you need to. Keep your left hand on top of your right knee. Then you can reach the right arm out to the side. Just starting to really feel a twist through the spine in one direction. And stay with your breath. Come back to center. Release the leg. Second side, hug the left knee in toward your chest, nice and close, and then let that leg fall across the body, keeping your right hand on top of your left leg, and then you can let the left arm fall out to the side. And relax on the floor. And enjoy the twist through the other direction. Nice easy breaths here. And back to center. Bring both knees in and up. Clasp hold of the outside edges of your feet if you can for happy baby. Or if it's hard for you to hold the feet, you could hold the ankles, or you could even clasp the hands behind the knees. I'm going to hold the outside of the legs. And just rock a little bit gently from side to side here in happy baby. letting the whole of the back body get a little bit of a massage. Arms wide, legs wide. Really enjoy the space. And then bring the knees back in to center. And with a couple of gentle rocks, start to bring yourself up to a seated posture. But take a couple of rocks to get there so that you really get more of a massage on the spine. And then sit up nice and tall here in Sukhasana. Easy pose. A couple of nice deep breaths here. Inhale as you lengthen your spine, reaching up through the top of the head. And then exhale, twist to your right, placing your left hand on your right knee. And your right arm on the floor behind you. Every time you inhale, lengthen your spine. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, twist to the left. Stay with your breath. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release. Shift forward to tabletop, everybody. And take a moment here just to make sure that your wrist creases line up with your shoulders and your knees line up with your hips. So we start from a place that's really balanced and even. And then instead of a formal cat and cow, just let yourself shift around, move the spine in any way that feels good. So if you're just joining us, I see the numbers have changed on the screen. Welcome. It's a spinal focus today. Really tapping into the full range of movement in our spines. And if you don't feel like being so playful with your spine, you could do a basic cat and cow. Inhale to look up, exhale to look down. That's a fine option. But if you're enjoying moving around playfully, keep moving around playfully. Come back to center and walk your arms around to your right. So you're walking both hands around to the right. Carefully walk your hands back to center and then go the other direction. I'm going to turn away from you. Walking your hands to the left. Inhale, come back to center, tabletop. Take a moment here, find balance. And then lift your left arm up off the floor and thread that left arm underneath the right arm. A little eye of the needle stretch here in the upper body. And possibly prop your right hand up on the pads of your fingertips. So you can really get a sense of lifting up through the arm. Enjoy the twist. And now from here, you may wish to step your right leg back behind you, propping your back foot up onto the toes. And then maybe bring your right arm up to your hips. A little bit of a balance challenge here. If this is pleasing to you, you can extend the top arm up toward the ceiling and maybe even try lifting that back leg up off the ground. Keep hugging into the midline of the body. And then exhale, come down. Back to tabletop, second side. I'm going to turn around so that I stay facing you. Second side. Now the right arm comes up. Thread the right arm underneath the left arm. And prop your left hand up on the pads of your fingers so that you can get some lift through the armpit especially. Steady your breath. Enjoy the twist in the spine. And then if you're ready, you can step your left leg back behind you. Steady yourself there. Possibly bring your left hand up to your left hip. Steady yourself there. Possibly extend your left arm up toward the ceiling. And maybe your left leg can float away from the earth. Hug the midline, really press down with your right hand into the floor. Your whole right arm, really. Woo, shaking. And then come back down. And come back to tabletop. I'm going to turn around and face the other direction again. Back to your tabletop. Step your right leg forward into a low lunge. If you need some extra cushioning, you can flip your mat over to give yourself extra cushioning underneath your back knee, or maybe you have a blanket nearby. That could be helpful. Settle into the lunge here, into the deep lunge. Settle into the opening in the hips and the psoas. And then start thinking about the length through the spine, sending your tailbone back low and sending the top of your head forward high. So those two opposite directions here, really lengthening through our spine. Keep your left hand down on the floor, twist. Reach the right fingertips up toward the ceiling. Maybe even look up toward your top hand. Exhale the hand down, second side. Back to tabletop, left leg forward. Readjust your lunge as you need to. Settle in, lengthen the spine. Right arm down, twist. Exhale the hand down. Step forward to the front of your mat. Standing forward bend, Uttanasana. Feel free to shift your weight around a little bit here. If you have blocks, if you want to prop the floor up a couple of inches closer to you, that's a nice option to lift the floor. Or maybe you have a chair nearby. You can lift the floor up even more with the chair. Otherwise, fingertips to the floor. Enjoy the stretch through the backs of the legs for just a moment here. And then one more time, a twist. Keep the left fingertips down on the ground. Bend your left knee. And then actually, I'll go to the other direction, so I'm mirroring you. Your left hand is down. Twist to your right. Look up to the ceiling if you can, so that you can keep that twist going even up through the cervical spine. Exhale the hand down, second side. Right arm down, left arm up. And you can bend your right knee to make it a little easier for you to get into the twist. Exhale the hand down. Walk your feet wide apart, about as wide as the front edges of your mat for a wide-legged forward bend, a wide-legged forward stretch here. And then bring your arms off the floor. I'll face the side so you can see. Clasp your hands together behind your backs here. Bend your right knee and twist to your left. Keeping the spine a little bit more horizontal now. The top of the head reaching forward in space. And keep clasping those hands together. That'll really help to keep the shoulders open, the collarbones wide, engaging the upper back. Back to center. Bend your left knee and twist to your right. I'll face the other direction so you can see me. Once again, clasping the hands together behind the back will really help engage the back muscles, open the front body. Crown of the head is reaching forward. Come back to center. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Bring your feet together, arms at your side, palms down, Tadasana. Let the effort settle. Enjoy Tadasana for a moment. Maybe even rotate your palms forward. Feel that sense of spaciousness. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Clasp a hold of your left wrist. Lengthen your spine. And exhale as you flex to the right. Really ground down through both feet, through both heels. Keeping the low body really connected to the earth, and we're lifting and lengthening up and out through the pelvis. Inhale, come back to center. Switch the clasp, holding onto your right arm. And then exhale, laterally flex that spine to the left. Once again, grounding down through both feet. I just realized my socks are still on. This new mat is so sticky, I haven't even noticed it yet. How incredible is that? Inhale back to center. Exhale the arms down. Take a nice wide jump. I'm going to take my socks off now to be safe. A nice wide jump. Legs nice and wide here. Prasarita Padottanasana. Take an inhale to lengthen upwards and then exhale, fold forwards. Bring the arms down to the ground. Feel free to shift your weight a little bit back and forth. Putting a little bit more space into the pelvis. A little more breath into the pelvis. And then back to center. From here, outwardly rotate your right leg so that the right toes are reaching away from you. Bend the right knee. And then walk your arms out onto the right diagonal here. Actively think about sending the right side of your pelvis, the right hip back a little bit in space so that the hip doesn't come too far forward. And then find a nice sense of inward rotation here to protect the knee joint and the back leg. Extend the arms, long spine. Deep breaths. Walking your hands on your next exhale through center, around to the second side. Bring the right leg in, turn the left leg out. Bend the left knee, one knee. And then reach out onto your left diagonal. It's hard to see on my video, everybody, but the front heel is aiming to intersect the middle of my back foot here. Just for your own alignment and setup purposes. That's what we're seeking here. Once again, long spine. Walk your hands back to center. Heel toe your feet in and underneath you. Hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Just take a moment here at standing, at vertical. Shake the legs out if they need it. And then jump your feet nice and wide one more time. If you have a block nearby, you may or may not want a block for Trikonasana. Have one if you think you need one. Extend the arms out over the feet. Right leg again. Turn the right toes out, facing the front of your mat. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Keeping that sense of length, tip the torso forward and over that front leg. Hand can come to the wrist. Make it come to a block behind you. I really like the block because it just brings the floor up enough that helps me find some space through the torso. Ground down through your left heel, everybody. And possibly turn to look up toward your top arm. And stay with your breath. When you exhale next, bend your right knee, push all the way back up, inwardly rotate the front leg, and then we'll go to the second side. So the right toes will turn in, the left toes will turn out. Have a block nearby if you need one. Lengthen the arms out, really wide out to the sides of the body. Inhale here, exhale, tip that torso over the left leg now. Actively lengthening up through the top fingers, down into the floor, and extending the top of your head, the crown of your head, forward toward your left leg. Maybe look up toward your top hand, testing your balance. Trikonasana is one of my favorites. It feels so grounding and so lengthening. Exhale the hand down to the mat. Pivot the back leg and then step back from here, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So feel free to shift around a little bit in your dog if you need to. And stay with your breath. Come down to tabletop. Shift back to a seated posture. If you have a blanket or a sweater nearby, it might be helpful for you for this next one. So Bhradvajasana's twist. Placing the blanket on the right side of your body, you'll shift your pelvis to the right onto that blanket and then shift your feet to the left, just enough so that they're hovering, that they're not on top of the blanket. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist over the right leg, placing the back of your hand onto the outside of your right knee. Twist to look over your right shoulder momentarily. Lengthen your spine. And then on your next exhale, turn to look over your left shoulder. So enjoy the twist that's happening in two directions. Carefully release the twist, come back to center. And then second side, if you're using a blanket, you could shift sides. Shifting your pelvis to the left, putting the left gluteal on the blanket, and then shifting your feet a little bit over to the right. Twisting over your left leg, placing the back of your right hand on the outside of your left leg. Twist your spine. Find a moment of length. And then turn to look over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Really carefully release the twist, release the blanket. One final pose here. Come back to tabletop. We're going to do a 1 minute plank here. Some of you are familiar with my 1 minute planks that I've been doing in isolation. But it's a really good challenge for balance, for strength, for endurance. And also, when we think about the core, we're involving many parts of the body, not just the abdominals, but part of that core, when we think about our spine and our spinal cord and the muscles through the back body, the erector spinae, that really get engaged muscularly, all of these can be worked in our plank. So we'll take 1 minute here, set up, and you can drop the knees to the ground if that works for you, or you can bring your forearms down if that works for you. I'm gonna be up in a push-up position here. So stepping your legs back when you're ready, and away we go. So we can think about the spine here in this 1 minute plank. We can really lengthen out through the top of the head. We can lengthen out through the tailbone. Of course, we are engaging the core, so we're hugging into the midline of the body. We're hugging energetically and physically into the spinal column itself. Strengthening all of our muscles as we go. Stay with your breath. We're more than halfway there. Just 10 seconds left, if you can believe it. Went quick this time. And then really carefully drop the knees if they're not already dropped and shift back into child's pose, Balasana. Deep, full breaths in and out here. Take an inhale to roll up to a seated posture, and then shift yourself around, and then roll back down for Shavasana. So take a moment here to get comfortable on your backs once again. Ending class the way we began, on our backs. If you want to put any socks or layers on or use a blanket to cover up with, you can do that. So taking a moment here to settle your breath, settle your body, and settle your mind. Closing your eyes if they're not already closed. And allow yourself to fully integrate the benefits of your physical practice. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms and your legs. Stretch your spine in any way that feels good. As you begin to come back into your physical bodies. When you feel ready, you can roll to your right side and push yourself back up to a seated posture. Keep the eyes closed for another moment. And listen once again to Peggy Hackney's words. I become differentiated. I am an individual with my own spine. I ground myself in my own sphere through yielding and pushing. I reach and pull, giving attention to my outer environment. I follow my curiosity and my imagination, enjoying my supportive, flexible, playful spine. All things seem possible. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And take a moment to thank yourself for your efforts today. It takes a lot of courage and discipline and dedication to keep coming back to your mat, coming back to your practice, coming back to class. So thank yourself for your efforts. May this practice today be a reminder to us that we really are only as young as our spines are flexible. So it's really crucial that we take care of our spines and our whole bodies for that matter. Let's close with a couple of nice exhales, big audible exhales with me. Inhale deep. And again, inhale. One more, inhale. Namaste, everybody. So thank you so much, as always, for being here, for taking class with me today. If you joined in late and you have the ability on your device, hi, Mariko. If you have the ability to say hello on your device, let me know you're here. I'm always just curious to know who I'm practicing with, who's practicing together. It's nice to know that we're in class together, everybody. So be well. Take care of yourselves. Happy Monday to all of you. And I, as always, look forward to our next practice together. Thanks, everybody. Signing off.